Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So good. I have some great questions for Letterkenny, but really I just want to talk about the many faces of Savio Vega or a year-long possible match between Swerve and Keith Lee with you, but I digress.
Yeah.
We'll talk for hours. So with Letterkenny, with these 81 episodes, these 6 or 7 years you worked on it, these 12 seasons. Was there ever an outer body experience that you had where you kind of stepped away and you said, this is really something special and the world is catching on to it?
I mean, when we were shooting season one, I would often say to people, like, we're either making a really good show or we're all just idiots because we were laughing so much and having so much fun making the show. And it did way better than anyone expected us to. We were the first Canadian show created for a Canadian only streaming service, and we ended up conquering the world, so to say. And no one expected us to do what we did, least of all us, because we were told it was almost impossible. And it's been absolutely crazy. I got to sit, I got to shake hands with Brad Pitt and have him tell me how much he loved my TV show. You know, when Brad Pitt tells you that he comes home after a rough day and throws on episodes of Letterkenny and just laughs his problems away, it blows your mind. When I got it, we got to have lunch at Ed Norton's house. We got T-Pain was in our audience in Atlanta. The guys from Tool came to see us in Phoenix. I've had so many wrestlers reach out to me over the years. I got to go backstage at AEW in Toronto and talk Letterkenny with Chris Jericho and John Moxley, and it's been
That
absolutely nuts. I got to sit in Gorilla with Jerry Lynn and Dean Malenko and Sanjay Dutt and Luther and like
that's insane. That's insane. I mean, it just seems like everybody caught on, and it being the finale in this final season being about changes, but also being happy where you are with your friends. Is there something from your character, Dan, that you've made so famous and iconic that you took away and that you learned something from playing?
I think uh, what Dan became from where he started is was a very important arc. And I think it was really great to have a character on TV that was a tough, blue collar, hardworking, salt of the earth guy who could stand up to just about anyone in a fight, and at the same time was constantly trying to improve who they were as a person and better understand and other people and their struggles, and to be sensitive and soft and at the same time tough and hard is it shown that that can be a thing.
No, that's
And
great.
I hope a lot of more people try to be a bit more like Dan in their lives.
I totally agree. With that being said, if you can take your character Dan that you perfected and insert Dan into any movie out there to make that movie way better than it is, what movie are you inserting Dan to?
Hmm. Well, I'm trying to figure out where Dan would fit.
I feel like he would fit in like What's Eating Gilbert Grape because Dan is like no nonsense and there's a lot of nonsense and I feel like you he would be great in
Yeah,
that.
I would love to see Dan in a Wes Anderson movie.
Oh yes. Oh, so
I'm
good.
not gonna lie, Dan, and but Dan could also show up in The Hangover,
He
or one of the
could. He
TV shows.
could.
I'd love to see him walk through a Marvel movie. Just
Me too. I would. The last time we talked, I asked you, are there any particular scenes in movies that have always stuck with you? And you gave such a great part of that, and it was planes, trains, and automobiles, where they were in the car and the Michael McKean pulls them over and said everything is wrong with the car, but the radio still works. And I think that's like a perfect comedic scene in a moment in a movie. But I was going to ask, is there anything else besides that that always sticks out with you? Because that was a great answer.
I mean, there's so many awesome movies out there, and so many great moments. Uh, yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to pick just one. And when I'm thinking of movie moments, it's another John Candy one. You should have seen the toast. I couldn't even get it through the door. Uh,
Oh, that's a
just
great
just a
one.
just a great beat. But there's lots of times where you can't think of the situation like without thinking of certain movie or a certain film. And I kind of feel like we've done a bit of that with Letterkenny. Like, I like to think every time someone gets ready to prepare a steak, they hear Squirrely Dan in their ear going, you're, technically you're just supposed to sear it on both sides and finish her off in the ovens.
No, it's like that little angel speaking in life. I love it. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to see you live in comedy in Dallas, Texas, and I look forward to seeing more of that and seeing
I'm
what you
back in
do.
Plano in a couple weeks.
Then I'm going.
Right on. See you
Thank you
there.
so much. We'll talk with you soon. Happy New Year, and we'll see. We'll talk wrestling soon.